Hey there, welcome back to some Remnant. It's been a while, about 4 months, but I've been feeling the itch. I think maybe I've got some time. We can start doing things again. I think it'd be fun. We're going to do some more Remnant. We're going to do some more whatever, etc. What are we doing today, though? It's a Flamethrower build. It's a Flamethrower, man. It's just what I feel like doing. A couple things to forewarn you, right? One, I haven't played in 4 months. It's going to be really bad. Two, this is not an optimized type of build. That's just generally not what I do. If you're familiar with me and my channel, it's just, I like to just kind of do things to do things and see if they can work. I like to play it a little bit on the hardest difficulty. We're playing out on Apocalypse, so you can see how it does on the hardest difficulty, not because it is a build for Apocalypse. You understand what I'm saying? And this is all just built around, I'm using a Flamethrower. I think because I was doing some Flamethrower things on, what's it called the other day? Helldivers. And so I just wanted to do more Flamethrower type of things. And so that's what we're doing here. And we're going to see how it goes. Running through Losum, we'll see how it works. The third thing to consider in here, again, this is just a bunch of excuses. So if I make a mistake, I can fall back on them. It is now 7 o'clock, middle of the week. I'm tired. I've got extra work things going on. I've had a few little work drinks going on. I'm a little sloppy right now. So bear that in mind. But the overall idea of the build is we're going to be using a Flamethrower and we're going to just burn some dudes up. Now, if I can quickly get this active before I get shot up, that'd be wonderful. Now, there's a few things you can do for the Flamethrower. I'm using the Engineer. I took a lot of damage there because these guys hit really hard on Apocalypse. Oh, keep avoiding things. I'm using the Engineer because it has a flame turret. The flame turret is the exact thing you want to use because when you heavy carry it, it turns into a portable Flamethrower. Then you also get access to the overclock high-tech perk so that you can overclock it, deal even more damage faster, etc. Very good. Now, granted, if you don't have that, you could also just run with the Hellfire handgun. It's a little handgun Flamethrower. That'll also do the job. It also has some decent fire damage as well, but ultimately, yeah, you want this. This is what you want to do. But everything else, as far as choices go that we've done, it's all to increase our fire damage and whatnot. Now, you may have noticed our secondary archetype, and I'm trying to... That was unfortunate. Our secondary archetype is the Invoker. I have the Wave Major on. Wave Major is going to heal us while we're in the radius, and it's also going to increase the elemental damage that the enemies are going to take. So because we're doing a flame, guess what? Fire is an elemental damage, so they're just going to take more damage. Very poor display of gameplay there from me. We could have played it a little bit better there. Whoop, dodge that. And we just pull them right here into the channel and let them get burned up. Oh, our prism is ready to be enhanced. I do not remember what's going on with our prism, so hopefully it's something amazing. We'll see. I don't know how... Oh, second dude. There we go. We'll talk about some of the rings. Now, again, this build I haven't messed with in 4 months. So I actually did not even fully look at what I have going on here. Now, I noticed some of the enemies are slowed. So with the Flamethrower, the thing is doing, as you flame them, they're getting caught by the burn effect. So we have on the wired inhibitor. So as you apply that negative status effect, they're slowed. It's a fantastic defensive measure. We're constantly applying slowed them, which means the enemies are attacking us slower. We're able to create more space, etc., etc. It's just a great little defensive thing. If you don't have that, maybe just going more damage is the way to go, right? That would be the thing to be. What am I even trying to do here? Hold on. What the heck is this prism even doing? I've got health regeneration, status effect damage. Okay, skill cooldowns, melee speed. Okay. Stamina. I don't know what I was building with this prism anymore. Anyways, with us just focusing on fire damage, it makes it pretty easy for us to figure out how to increase our damage, because guess what? You can just choose all things that are going to increase your fire damage. So it's pretty easy to do with that. Move away from all them. And if I could, oh my god. If I could, everything could stop for a second, that'd be fantastic. Now we're okay. This is much better now. The fire does a lot of damage. I don't know if you noticed how much the burn effect was. It was 100 to 200. I don't remember which number it actually was. It does a lot, right? Now, in theory, what we end up having going on here, regular generic fights here and there, we just use a flamethrower. Just run around as the engineer, burn guys with a flamethrower. They're going to be slowed down. They're going to die before they can do anything, just like that. Once you start getting into some of the more intense fights, you can overclock the gun, so it does even more damage, and you have infinite ammo reserve, so you don't have to actually worry about running out of fuel for your big flamethrower heavy carry. The other thing is, you start throwing in the Way of Maedra. That's going to be healing you up and making the enemies take even more damage, which is great for the bosses as well. And then you can actually use a mod that we have equipped to our long gun. That is Heat Wave. Heat Wave is an aura radius thing that you've got going on that is going to apply a burning effect to enemies once they stay within the radius for the amount of time it requires. How long does it say? 15-meter aura of sweltering heat. Enemies inside the aura for 3 seconds will begin burning for a lot of damage over 5 seconds. The overall mod lasts for 30 seconds. So you can activate that and pick your turret back up, and that sweltering heat is going to still work even while we are doing the heavy carry, which is fantastic. It's just extra damage to add on top of what we're doing already. Look how that slow is just keeping him in place without him actually doing anything at all. So in a controlled environment, enemies can't really do anything to you. If you can keep them in place in a straight direction, choke point, etc., it's a little tough with some of the flying guys, but you can really mess them up, and there's not a whole lot that they can do. Now, for your bosses and stuff, it's not going to be as amazing. The slow does actually affect them. It does mess up some of their timing and stuff, which honestly messes me up more than anything, because I'm so used to certain timings that when they don't perform in the same fashion, I dodge incorrectly and take damage. So, hey, maybe the slow is going to help you out on the boss and allow you to react a little bit better against their moves. Maybe your muscle memory is already in place and slow is a little more frustrating. So on a boss fight, you may want to take off the wired inhibitor and just go for more damage. You know what I mean? Now, speaking of more damage, right? If you take off the wired inhibitor and you're like, well, what else can I put on here to do more damage? Well, there's a lot of options you can do to do more damage with this overall setup. You know, Burden of Destroyer, flat damage across the board, very cool. Alumni Ring, more elemental damage, cool. Firestone, sorry, that's going to increase your fire damage. Excellent. Do things like that. You could do the Singed Ring. That's going to increase the damage you're dealt to burning targets. Well, congratulations. You're always catching targets on fire, which means you're always dealing more damage to them. You could also run the Red Ring of Death so that you're getting that double stack of the burn damage, which, because this thing does so much burning damage and it's the only damage or status effect that we're focusing on, that means you're doing a lot more damage. It's a great damage boost for this setup. Overall, pretty solid. Now, obviously, I feel like I'm kind of hyping this build up a little bit. It has drawbacks. Obviously, it's going to have drawbacks. Most builds are going to have drawbacks, okay? This one in particular, because you're using a flamethrower. Its biggest drawback is the range. There are some bosses this just isn't going to do you any good on. I was just kind of messing around a second ago. I say a second ago, a minute ago, before I actually started this video. And what's it called? Chantry, the Legion boss in Yesha. Guess what? Flamethrower, really bad, because the whole boss starts off meters away from you. You're not able to hit him with a flamethrower. It's not good. if you're fighting the Bloat King, where you've got the floating orbs, you are not hitting those floating orbs with this. So some bosses are just not going to work for this build, or this build is not going to work for them, right? Move away from all that. Oop, no, thank you. So you got to be a little cognizant of that. This is kind of a meme setup. This is just to have fun, right? And obviously on your lower difficulties, you're just going to have a lot more fun, but you can make this work on Apocalypse, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at the loadout. So Engineer is a primary archetype. We want to use a Flamethrower heavy weapon. And with the Engineer as a primary archetype, we can use a high-tech skill or perk that allows us to overclock it, dealing, let's see, infinite ammo, increased fire rate, 25% increased damage for 32 seconds with a 46-second cooldown. This is affected by all the skill durations, cooldowns and stuff as well. Definitely skill cooldowns. Don't quote me on the skill durations. It's been a long time, so maybe I'm off on that part. But because we're doing all kinds of elemental damage, Invoker, it's got so many things going for us, because this is increasing our skill damage. Guess what? The turret is skill damage. It's also elemental damage. And so then we get the crit chance as well. Helps with skill cooldowns, health, while we got the Invoker cooldown or Invoker skill active. We're not really using our relic, so we're kind of missing out on some of that part as well. But once we get into the situation where we're using the Way of Maedra, we're getting all that extra healing as well as the extra elemental damage on the target. So it actually helps us to mitigate some of the downsides of some of the bosses. So in addition to being short range weapon, with the different affixes you can get on the bosses, if they have an elemental resist, this build is going to struggle a bit more because all our damage is elemental. But if you're rolling with Way of Maedra, so that you're taking that extra elemental damage and stuff, it can help to mitigate that downside. But again, this is kind of a meme build. This is not necessarily meant to be super optimized. So yeah, there's going to be some pretty harsh downsides to it. Amulet, Talisman of Sun. It's a choice. All fire damage increased by 25%, 50% burning damage increase. It's a huge damage bonus for us. It's the natural pick. If you really don't have it, you could go for flat damage increases. You could roll the Chains of Amplification because you're always going to be doing status effects to the target. You could maybe run, what was something else? It's been a while, so I don't super remember. Flat damage increases, elemental damage increases. That's kind of what you're looking for. Look at that. Burden of the Destroyer. Extra 15% damage across the board. It's going to help our direct damage. It's going to help our burning damage status effect, which is great. Firestone. Fire damage is increased by 15%. Again, this is increasing our direct fire damage. It's also increasing our burning damage as well. Now, there was something, again, it's been a while, so I don't super remember. But you could compare this with some of your other rings that are going to increase their status effect damage. Shadow of Misery, that's what I'm thinking of. Right, so the Shadow of Misery, status effect damage is increased by 20%. So that's going to make the burn effect do more than the Firestone is, but you don't get the direct damage increase. So depending on what you've got going on, you may, and what you have access to, right? Because you might not have every ring in the game. So depending on what you've got going on, these are options. Another option being the Alumni Ring, which is going to just increase all your elemental damage by 10%. This would be a better choice if we had multiple sources of elemental damage, but because we only have the fire, this is going to be the better choice. Now, with us using the turret, Ring of Ordnance, this is going to allow us to keep regenerating ammo, so we don't have to worry about stowing our weapon, having to recharge it, running out of ammo, anything like this. Personally, this is just a fantastic quality of life. If you don't have it, you can make this work without it. Just make sure outside of the fights, you're allowing it to drop, recharge its ammo, and you're going to probably have to rely more on the Hellfire and our other weapon as well. Now, I already mentioned it, Wired Inhibitor. This is just great in general as you're clearing a level, going through trash enemies, elites, and just slowing them down so they're easier to deal with. Now, if you want to go more damage, you want to go with something like the Red Ring of Death. Is just going to really crank up that burning damage by a lot, wherever it happens to be at. There it is. It doubles it, but reduces their damage by 10%. So that ends up being a 90% damage increase. It's quite something like that. It might not be 90. It might be technically 80. I don't remember the math anymore. It's a big damage increase because we're only using one status effect. So it's pretty solid. But again, if you don't have that, run the Alumni Ring. Do the Singed Ring, right here. Increasing the damage to burning enemies by 12%, not 10%, because it got increased a little bit, 12%. But it is additive, it's not multiplicative anymore. Sorry for all those who really cared about that. But, you do things like that. Or if you need more healing, maybe you want to go with the Black Spinel. Where is that? There it is. As you apply a negative status effect, you regenerate a percentage of your health. It can refresh it. As long as you're shooting that flamethrower, it's constantly applying a status effect, which means you're constantly refreshing the Black Spinel. So you're going to get a lot of just constant health regeneration, which is really handy. Now, downside was this build, right? Because we're heavy carrying this weapon, that means we can't actively use our relic and things. So because of that, our relic choice is going to be affected by it. I'm using the Profaned Heart because it increases our lifesteal. So then we're getting a lot of lifesteal while we're doing the Flamethrower. If you don't have that, you could maybe run the Tranquil Heart. Or if you just want to run a regular relic, you just run a regular relic and have to use it as you need to. There is also the Gossamer Heart. Yep. Increase your evade window, so that's pretty nice. Now talking about the evade window, we currently have on a full heavy armor set. Now this isn't super optimized. I just liked how it looked, right? So we've got on Fader chassis, locomotor, and crushers. That's the chest, legs, and gloves. And then the bandit's mask, which is a light one. Puts us at a heavy weight. With all our bonuses going on, we currently have a total damage reduction at 59.8. Now the reason I bring this up, with the heavy dodge, with the weapon carry, it's the same dodge. It doesn't matter if you are light, medium, heavy, flop, doesn't matter. It's the same dodge no matter what. Now, stamina is a different thing to consider, so you might want to consider that. But you can run some heavy armor while still getting a decent dodge with invulnerability windows. Gun-wise, we're doing fire, spark fire shotgun, natural choice. Heat wave, as I mentioned, is a mod. You can activate it, have the aura active while you're carrying your flamethrower, so you can be applying even more burning effects to the target. Well, I went ahead and threw in the Searing Wounds mutator, so we're doing even more fire damage. A handgun is the Hellfire, so if you're not using the flamethrower turret, you can use this to do fire damage. It does do a pretty solid amount of fire damage, and its burn effect is no joke as well. Since it's always going to be close range, nearsighted is just going to increase the damage of its direct fire pretty nicely, but maybe you want to look at some other mutator if you don't have that. Nothing's popping off the top of my mind. Nothing is popping off at the top of my mind because I haven't played in months, so I can't think of them. Smolder, Fire Sword, deals a solid amount of burning damage on a charge attack. Put Stormbringer in that bad boy, and guess what? It's going to increase that burning damage by 50% and lower the resistances, which can help you with bosses that have elemental resistances. Trait-wise, regrowth. Again, we're not using our relics, so we want regrowth. We want leech. We want siphoner. All the things that are going to help us heal without actually using our relic. We can increase our movement speed with swiftness. We are going to move faster thanks to the engineer and its heavy carry perk, so it's going to help us move around the map a little bit faster. Flashcaster is going to allow us to cast the turret a little bit faster, pick it up, put it down just a little bit faster. It's a nice quality of life. Vigor, because we are in Apocalypse. Expertise to help us cut down the reduction in our overclock skill or prime perk from the engineer. Footwork, so that while we are shooting the flamethrower, we actually move a little bit faster. A little bit of points in endurance and recovery, because to me, that extra stamina and stuff is just a great quality of life. Now let's get in a dungeon. Let's go fight a boss. Nothing too crazy, right? So I'll see you there. Oh, the Gilded Chambers, dude. Flamethrower for a fire boss. You know what? Why not? Why not, right? Now, I've been going on and on about, hey, using the flamethrower for damage and stuff like that. But as I was going through the portal, it did remind me that there is another way to play it a little bit differently if you're so interested and you really need that DPS. You put down the turret, or the flamethrower, and it's going to keep doing damage, while then you are using the Hellfire handgun to also still be living that flamethrower sort of fantasy And so you're just doubling up on DPS. Your turret is still dealing damage. You are also dealing damage, so you're just doing more damage, right? We're going to aggro these guys and just pull back here into this little window. Oh no. What are we going to do? Was that it? Play it smart, man. That's something, I don't remember what I was playing, but it was really making me think that, you know, there is something to playing smart around your opponents. You don't have to go into a big wide open room and try and sit around and flame guys all over the place. No. Aggro them, pull it back in there, and then fight them at the choke point. Play it smart. Use the battleground to your advantage. It's Raven's Watch. That's what I was playing. So, you know, play around with that. Use it to your advantage. Now, when we get up to this boss fight and we are fighting the Red Prince, I am going to switch off the inhibitor ring because I don't need to slow on him. If anything, I want to go more damage, and that's what I'm going to start with. But if I play poorly, then we'll switch it to the Black Spindle and get some more health regeneration to help us out. So, again, that's going to be, you know, play around with what you're using. See what works for you. Find out how you're playing, and if it's working for you, keep going with it. If you can cut the defense, go for aggression and more damage. If you can't cut the damage and you need more defense, go more defense, man. The world is your oyster. Play around with the setup. Make it your own. Oh, we got ourselves an aberration. Let's overclock it. I can see him right there. There we go. Vicious Drain Trapper. All right, this can be a little scary. We're actually doing some very solid damage to him right here. We're actually going to pull it right here. And I was kind of hoping, yeah, his acid throw spit caught the corner there, so we actually didn't have to worry about it catching us at all. And because he's being really slowed, he can't really hit us, and so we can just sit here doing damage. And what could he do? Absolutely nothing. I also just realized I didn't talk about my prism at all. Again, I don't remember what's going on with this prism. I'm working on something. Health regen, status effect damage. We're doing a lot of status effect damage. Skill cooldowns, melee speed, stamina. We also have skill damage going on. We are, because the turret is a skill, it counts as skill damage, health bonus, and status effect damage. I believe they took away the elemental damage. In the past, I remember them having a fragment that you could slot in and deal increased elemental damage, but I'm pretty sure they took that away. If it's there, I would probably recommend that, but the only thing I can think of is that it doesn't exist anymore, which is why I don't have it equipped. Oh no, we can just put our turret here and then swap it over. Hellfire. And see, you just set up the turret and look, you don't even have to do anything. I mean, the Engineer is a solid class on its own. Setting up the turret and allowing it to do work is great. With how slow these guys are coming in here, and the Atarai or Ring of Ordnance, you know, we don't have to worry about it really running out of ammo. So it can just kind of sit there and keep doing things. And especially if you stagger its shots and your overclock. So you can let it run for a second and then overclock it so it has infinite ammo. So then it'll recharge its ammo while being at infinite ammo reserves. And then by the time the overclock is over, it's set up again with lots of ammo and can keep shooting for even longer. And then depending on the timing, you might even be able to just overclock it again before it fades out to recharge. So depending on all your timing and stuff, hey, you're gonna be pretty okay. Ooh, another aberrant? I'm sorry, what? Okay, we're gonna pull back a little bit more. He's got a rat swarm. We're gonna drop this here. I'm gonna actually activate the heat wave and wave Madra because I just feel like doing all that. Ooh, that's really unfortunate. Oh, get up, get up, get up, get up. Oh no, come on. Come on. No, I'm gonna get murked by rats. Get away from all that. Okay, we're okay. Run away from his acid spit. Huh. That's kind of wild that it's a whole second aberration guy. That's kind of crazy. But again, I mean, it got a little sloppy there for a second. I did get a little worried I was going to get messed up. But, I mean, overall, a fairly clean fight when we were in control, you know? Alright, Red Prince, let's do it. Let's activate you. Maedra, get you active. We're going to go ahead and overclock it now just because. Dodge all that. Oh my god, look at the damage. Skullcracker and Drain, dude. But look how much damage he's actually taken. His health. Oops, a little unfortunate there. Oop. I mean, we're already a third of the way down, a quarter. Now, obviously, he's far away now, but I mean, I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be just fine. What we could do... No, wait, Maedra. I guess I used all my cooldowns right off the bat. I probably should have staggered them a little bit more, just to make sure I had something ready to go for this section here where we're in the fire arena. But, you know, we seem to be doing just fine, don't we? The burning overtime is doing 2 stacks of 83, so we're looking at 166, so that's a pretty good amount. If we didn't have the red ring of deaths, that would be doing something like 90 damage or something like that. So, right, it's a big damage increase. So, yeah, definitely worth it to use the red ring of deaths since we're only using the one status effect. Now, we can get the... Oh, quick! Oh, too slow getting the turret back up. But I wanted to get Heat Wave active because guess what? He's sitting really close to us, which means he's constantly getting the Heat Wave active. So look at all the extra damage numbers. 139 from Heat Wave. So if you can actually get the red ring to split that damage number, that's a lot more damage, right? Obviously. Oh no. Come on, boss. Come get some, Red Prince. Nothing? Come on. Teleport back in. Oh, that's a bummer. Oop. Yeah, it's a solid fight. So, we're good. We're good. You can get... I mean, obviously, it's not going to be quite the same depending on the world boss that you're fighting, right? The world bosses are just going to be more difficult. So you're going to have to temper your expectations there. However, with the right world boss, was Feylin, because they're so in your face most of the time, or even Nightweaver, just some of your other, what's it called? The Ravager. You're going to have the guys in your face. This is essentially a melee build in a lot of regards because it's so close range. It just relies on firing a weapon. It can do good work. It can do good work, and you can have a lot of fun with it. It's going to do better on your lower difficulties, but with all the steps that we have going on here, obviously you can see it. We're playing on Apocalypse, man. It's going to do great. And even our fragment, even, yes, if you factor in that, yeah, we are doing more damage with our fragment, it's doing a lot of good things for us, whatever. It's, honestly, this is not even a complete fragment. We would still be fine. So it's just a fun build. If you're looking for Flamethrower funness and you haven't considered doing something like this, give it a go. It's fun. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. We could go fight a world boss. We could go finish the whole run for Feylin. But I got things to do, man. I got chores to take care of. I'm not looking to do all of that right now, right? I got stuff to do. But thanks for joining me. For my regulars, hey, man, appreciate you guys hanging around. You know, I know it's been months since I've done anything, and you know, I just haven't felt it. Work's been tough. I've been filling in other positions that are just not. Oh, I'm not gonna rant about work. It's been tough, you know, in a way with other things and everything. I just haven't felt the motivation to do that stuff. So I'm feeling better now. I think I can do some more of that, more of this, and start integrating this as my actual hobby again and have some fun. I don't really want to just go right back to just Remnant 2 though. I need to go back into Elden Ring. Considering Berserk, whatever Khan, the first Berserker, whatever it's called, I'm thinking about picking that up. I just need my paycheck to hit and make sure I have the money to do it. So I might play some of that. I don't know, man. We're going to do something. I'm going to post random videos. Who knows? Just for funs. But thanks for joining me. I appreciate you guys. I always do. I hope you enjoyed it. Gave you some things to think about. And until the next one, y'all, just, take care of yourselves. Take care. Do well.